This week's episode of Mind Gap Podcast is brought to you by Seamus's famous Whiskey Sticks Chewing Gum. Don't you hate the fact that you're not allowed to drink at fucking work? Or when you get dirty looks from the other parents when you bust out a bottle of the sweet stuff at your kid's basketball game? Well, don't you fucking worry. Seamus's Whiskey Sticks is the answer to a question you don't even remember asking. Each flavour-packed piece has the equivalent alcohol content of a shot of Jameson. Never again will you be hassled by a cop for finding the bottom of a bottle on a crowded street in the middle of a Thursday. It's none of their damn business how I spend me Thursdays anyway. Our team of scientists have been working round the clock for years to figure out how to inject an entire bottle of booze into a pack of chewing gum, and they fucking did it. Those wee little bastards. Oh, God love them. What were we saying? Oh, right, I'm selling you this shite. Go to Seamus'sWhiskeySticks.com to see our full lineup of flavours, but be careful not to go to Seamus'sWhiskeyDicks.com. That's a whole nother experience and hours of self-reflection you just don't need. Now order before March 13th and use code MindGapPodcast at checkout to receive rush delivery guaranteed to get to you before St. Patrick's Day. Seamus's famous Whiskey Sticks Chewing Gum. Put a little luck of the Irish in your mouth.
This week's episode is brought to you by Elephant & Castle, located at 185 North Wabash and 111 West Adams in Chicago, Illinois. Look, I know you're looking for that perfect English pub experience so you can grab some incredible drinks and tasty food. Elephant & Castle has you covered. They have excellent daily drink specials, happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., and some delicious-ass food for you to chew on while you watch some fucking sports. Come on down to Elephant & Castle at 185 North Wabash or 111 West Adams in Chicago, Illinois, and tell them that Mind Gap Podcast sent you.
Ka-ching, baby! This week, Doug and I are talking about money, 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 money. The two of us try to figure out if there's a point where someone can have too much money, what we'd do if we had $1 billion, God, one can dream, how we think the wealthiest of the wealthy could be helping the rest of the world, and then Doug explains again why owning a boat is a terrible idea. Spoiler alert, it's because it's a depreciating asset. I'm pretty sure this episode means we're qualified to become financial consultants. So, get your affairs in order, diversify your portfolio, learn what the hell fiduciary means, and start brainstorming names for the boat that Doug will never own as we prepare to lift anchor and embark on episode 238 of Mind Gap Podcast. Doug, say the thing!
Mind Gap Podcast.
Rent song. I still gotta get this. Is it Seasons of Love?
Oh no, is it the song that talks about
That's the one.
sexually transmitted diseases?
Probably.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct.
Good plug. This episode brought to you by Grammarly. You done did it wrong. Hashtag Grammarly.
Right.
From the Oomps? The Omps?
Yeah.
What is...
The Oomps are the people who wrote this. Oh my. You.
There's about 10... okay.
YouTube.com/ You've heard this song.
Until when? What is it? What does this mean?
Moments so dear.
What is it? What are we counting down to? Until when? Oh, measure a year.
In daylight, in sunsets,
Ugh.
in midnights.
Each one goes, Hamilton!
I want to do a song where it starts 500.
Was it 5,250,000 whatever minutes
Later after ads.
It's a year, Doug. Thank you.
525,600 minutes, and then I would like the next 525,599 minutes, 5,000, and just the entire song is a countdown.
Mm-hmm. And what happens when it's over?
It ends.
What? Everything?
Yep.
It's an existential song.
Then someone looks at it and goes, "You've wasted roughly a year listening to this."
Oh God.
Yeah.
Didn't enjoy that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That
Have you never heard that song before?
that is very much that was one of the most musical songs in a musical.
Oh, that's
I imagine people standing going hands in the air all at the same time.
It is one of those like stereotypical for like the musical theater kids or musical theater geeks. That is Rent is constantly used as like one of the shining gems in the arsenal.
What about Jesus H. Christ Superstar? Was that a good one?
Not as good as Rent.
Or was it the multicolor rainbow?
Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
That's what it is.
It's so funny. The other day I was literally just thinking of songs from
That's
that.
about.
I don't know why that.
Is that about
came up.
Jesus? No,
It's about Joseph and his Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Doug.
Okay. It's so funny.
Originally portrayed by Donny Osmond.
Oh, now you know.
Yeah. Now you know it's good.
Now you know it's good.
Well, now you know it's good.
I remember, it's so funny because, I don't know anything about these musicals. I just, hear songs and stuff. And so, in my mind, what it's actually about is way different than what it ends up being.
I think I have a new segment for us.
Play songs,
and
then
you just tell us the plot.
And the plot? Like, cool. Do one from Cats. I can't wait to tell what I think Cats is about.
Oh, my God. That is amazing. Someone, don't let us forget this, all right, Twitch and listeners. Please remind us to do this because I love this concept. This is Doug's take on musicals. Doug, yeah, we'll come up with a good one.
So my initial one for this is it's a countdown until the nuke goes off.
There it is.
It's actually from The Dark Knight Rises. It's what they're counting down to until the plutonium bomb explodes.
Yeah,
in Gotham.
And then there's just a solo song from Bane.
Bane just goes so alone. I was born in the darkness.
Dull Moment says, we had talked about this back at Assignment Desk. Doug takes songs literally. It's Raining Men. I forgot about that, too.
I'm like, no, I didn't. He said it's Raining Men. I literally thought about men raining.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, that's true. That's very true.
This is a disease. It's a condition Doug has.
Yeah.
This is a disease.
Well, it's just funny when you think about it because people are like, whoa, it's Raining Men. It's like, no, this is not good. There's dead bodies everywhere.
Right. This is conservatively 200-pound raindrops falling on all of us.
Yeah, haven't you seen It's Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? It doesn't end well. Not at all.
Not at all.
Oh, man. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Yes! I think we probably made that same. Yeah.
It's raining.
Jared, you would have fit in very well at Assignment Desk with us.
And we could have used a nice touch of culture with that accent.
Absolutely.
As you called people.
Yeah.
You know.
We would have given all the people who called in pissed off. We would just given them to Jared and be like, talk these guys off.
Well, we had a bit where we were gonna have you put someone on hold, and then you were gonna come back on.
I was gonna come back with.
Well, you do an Irish guy or something like that. Which, by the way, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah.
Fucks, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm so excited about it.
We were like, we're gonna do accent work essentially. It's
That's
like,
right.
Hold on,
Yeah.
let me get my boss for you.
Or we were gonna do. Didn't we have someone who was going to be like the complaint department or the customer service department?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're sorry. Let us get you right over to our customer relations expert.
And then you're just gonna go into character.
Just go into like a thick Scottish brogue or something. Yeah.
That'd be amazing. So funny. Oh boy. Oh God. I don't feel well.
Doug, there's a solid chance Doug does have Master E. There's
his name's Mr. E.
I know I said it wrong. Fuck
God,
you.
not Mastery.
Oh my God! Can't you let anything
I
go?
don't know. I mean, that fucking stinks.
He's letting a lot go over here.
We'll let it all go.
There's a good chance Doug does have the Cochrane virus.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You just get a lot of hair and you get super practical, but not hair on your head.
Everywhere else, though.
Everywhere
else. It's quite disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we started rolling, Justin was talking about how he thinks it's important that billionaires give all their money away.
Yes, I did. We were talking before we started recording, and I said...
Sorry, let the bodies hit the floor. Hallelujah!
That is the song. No, we were talking about how the discrepancy between like someone like Jeff Bezos and how much he makes versus how much his employees make, or the hourly employees that work in the factories and stuff. And I had said, I was like, Doug, I'd like to think that if I'm ever lucky enough to get $1 billion, anything over that is going right back into either A, the employees for whatever company got me $1 billion, or B, straight to charity. I don't see the reason to need anything over $1 billion. Like when you are, let's just look up Jeff Bezos' net worth.
I mean,
because what was that? The other thing we said, like he gave away or he lost half of his net wealth in his divorce settlement, and he's still the richest man in America or one of the richest in the world.
Yeah,
I don't know what his actual. All right, so he's worth $123.9 billion. You'll never, ever need that much money.
Nope.
There's no way you could need that much money. But you brought up an interesting point when I had said that, and you said,
everyone poops.
And he's somewhere having a very painful dookie
on
his gold-plated toilets.
Was it something along the lines of like people tend to hang on to that, or what was which one?
Which
point did I make?
The point you had made is you said, and that's a sad reality. That sadly proves that you and I will probably never have $1 billion.
Oh, right, because for us to be like, yes, if I got to $1 billion, I'd make sure that went back to people. It's like, yeah, and that's why we won't be billionaires, because we don't think like one.
Right. But again, I was looking at it, I'm like, what could you possibly, over $1 billion, what else could you need? Like, what are you doing with that money, honestly? Because you brought up a good point with you can't take it with you.
Yeah.
So why, like, what is, I guess I don't understand, and we should probably be talking, we're not the two that should be dissecting this. We should have a billionaire on and ask them to to fund this podcast.
Chef Mike, we're looking for you, bud. Come on.
Come on.
Right? Chef Mike Harris.
We know you're a low-key billionaire.
Dude, that guy is a low-key billionaire.
A low-key billionaire.
Yeah.
That is
cosplayer and billionaire. That's
yes.
what he is.
Cosplayer and billionaire. Yep. Accurate. No, I just cough. I just lost my train of thought.
That's cool. I think part of the things with the billionaire stuff too is we were kind of talking about self-made, and there was an argument made that like, is a billionaire really self-made because they have all these people that are earning them their money, and that kind of goes down to a nuanced debate.
Very nuanced debate.
But I think part of it is like the folks that are really good at making money. Excuse me, it's going to be all night, so get used to it. They're really good at finding ways to make money. And I think where you run into problems with the folks that are given the money or inherit the money or whatever, and they've always lived in that lifestyle, it's hard for them to sometimes, again, it's a blanket statement. Some folks are pretty much like, I get it. I know how to do this. I know how to make my money go.
I feel like if they're raised well, like if the person who made the money passes on the concept of what it took to make that money, it's those that just freely hand out the money and donate, like, oh yeah, here you go. Here's another couple $1 million. Go have fun and wherever. Like they're not setting the children up or the
yeah. No, I think part of it too is just there's this subjective amount of money that people make, and at some point, everyone else is just like, "What are you doing?
You're making too much.
What are you doing over there? Like, what is the amount?" Yeah, I think 137 billion is definitely past that point where we're like, "Really? What are you doing?" I can't fathom having that. It's bizarre. We were talking just about how much someone we know makes, and a month. And I remember my wife telling me at one point in time at one of the companies she worked for, someone got a bonus of $60,000.
That's ridiculous.
That was a bonus. A percentage of their income netted them $60,000.
That's bonkers.
I'm like, that's someone's yearly gross, and they got their bonus as a percentage of their income in one lump sum for Christmas. I was like, what do you even do with that?
Right.
Like,
well, let's take it down to like a more manageable level. And if like you say, let's say someone is making, let's set it at $300,000, right? That means that gross every month that person is bringing in $25,000 every single month. In 3 months, in 2 months, they've made a lot of people's salary. In 3 months, they've made like. It's bonkers to think about that. And that's not even that really, at the end of the day, that's not that much money anymore.
You know what's scary? Is I think it's something you just get accustomed to. Like you just, it's funny because we'll be like, man, I wouldn't even know what to do with that. Well, because you slowly accumulate it.
Yeah.
You start to build your lifestyle around that.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's like the idea of complacency and how that operates always terrifies me.
Yeah.
Like, can you be happy or do you get bored? It's the same thing. Like, it's also probably why people who win the lottery just spend the shit out of it because they're like, I've never had this. I want to enjoy all the good things, but they don't know what it's like, to be rich.
Right.
And so they spend it poorly and everything like that. Whereas as you sort of slowly accumulate that just incrementally, you kind of establish your lifestyle to the point where $25,000 a month maybe isn't enough.
Right.
And that's terrifying.
That's weird to fucking think about.
Terrifying thought.
Well, that's why musicians and athletes and stuff get into, and actors, celebrities get into that precarious situations where they're like, oh, MC Hammer's broke. It's because that like so much is thrust on them all at once, and they're like, all right, spend. This is unlimited. It's never going to end.
Yeah.
And when you work and accumulate that, the quote unquote self-made person.
Yeah.
You work and accumulate that, you have a better understanding of what it is to come from nothing, what it is to grow to that thing, how easily it can go away. But when it's just dropped in your lap, it's almost it's like getting dunked in an ice bath. Like it's a shock to the system.
Of course.
And you're like, I don't know how to respond to this, so I'm just gonna do what I want.
I mean,
all those what is it, like the immediate instant gratification receptors, all of that just starts firing, and you're like, I can have whatever I want, so let's do this.
Yeah, I kind of get. I'm very concerned about that.
Are you?
Different things where I'm just like, hey man, take it easy. All right, let's not eat. Let's not eat out tonight. Let's cook.
Yeah.
All right, let's cook. We don't need to do all that because I'm fortunate enough. I live comfortably. Like I don't worry paycheck to paycheck. I'm very fortunate in that. My wife makes the bacon. But I'm very
well. Doug makes the candied bacon,
but I make the candied bacon, bitch. And we live very comfortably. Like I don't have to worry that oh my God, for the next 2 weeks, it's white bread and butter for lunch. Like I don't have to worry about that.
Which is delicious, by the way.
Yeah, right. Put a little sugar on it. It's basically cake. And so in that regard, I'm like, cool. Like if I want to go buy a video game, I can go buy a video game. I don't have to worry about that. If we decide, you know what, it's Father's Day, let's buy a smoker, for the house or whatever. Cool, we can do that. Like I don't have to worry about that sort of stuff. But I'm still conscious. I'm like, well, how much are we spending? Because I personally think it's like those ghosts in Mario Brothers. As long as you're looking at them, they won't move. But at the second you turn your back, they start coming for you. That's how I am. I'm like, well, let's not get crazy. All right, let's keep an eye on this.
Turn our backs.
Let's not turn our backs. Let's keep it under control. But at the same time, like as they say in Rounders, fuck, how's that saying?
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
That's exactly what they say. Something like
in my club, I can splash the pot whenever the fuck I like.
It's like give the man his money.
Give the man his money.
He's got alligator blood hanging around.
This kid has alligator blood.
He's like, you can't win what you don't put on the table, I think is what he says.
That sounds right.
And it's like one of those things I have to remind myself, like, enjoy it.
Right.
Enjoy life.
Right.
It's okay. Spend a little, live a little. Don't be like, I've got to hang on to everything.
Like this old miser that just like, no, it's my money.
As I joked beforehand, I go, I'm not going to age well. So I need to enjoy this, and I need to have those experiences. And, it's basically cake, the Doug Cochran story. I agree.
That's going on a mug or a T-shirt or something. That has to.
And on it is a picture of me just taking a bite out of a cupcake, and there's frosting all over my lip because I didn't pass the cupcake test.
It's got to be a picture of white bread with butter and sugar. That has to be the picture.
It's basically cake.
It's basically cake.
I'm like, what? It's basically cake.
The Doug Cochran. Each T-shirt has a different picture. It's like you holding a piece of pizza, and you're like, it's basically cake. You holding your daughter, it's basically cake.
It's basically cake. It's awesome.
Yeah,
thanks for the merch idea.
It's you can't take it with you. But to that end, having 100 and whatever Bezos has $1 billion, like you're just like, is it the hoarding concept? Is it because you can't? I would almost sit there and go, there's literally nothing you can There's nothing you can't do with that money, but at some point you literally can't spend that money. Like it's just sitting there accumulating. Like what is the draw?
Well, it's not all liquid, Justin. I mean, you just can't just go and spend all that. I mean, you got to do things. You got to sell some shit.
That's true.
He's got it tied up in some funds, some slush funds.
Some offshore banks.
Yeah. He's got...
I own a couple two-tree cattle ranches.
He's got a map to some buried stuff because, you never know when the apocalypse happens.
Right.
You got to go dig that shit up.
I also own the company who makes the maps.
And there we go. So they won't give them to anybody but me.
But I know where it is. Yeah. They make one map.
And they don't sell it to nobody.
And then they just sit there the rest of the time.
I make sure there's enough for me. And my immediate family, but not my bitch of a wife.
No.
Fuck her.
She already got what she needs.
I had to go and move it after we divorced.
I had to go and move it.
I mean, I didn't, but I told Juan to go dig it up and move it for me.
Right, Because I don't do manual labor.
I'm not good in the sun, I know. I don't want to buy a hat.
Right.
I don't like a hat.
I don't want to spend money on a hat.
You ever seen a guy who's a billionaire doesn't wear a hat? All right, that's just how it goes.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
I'll get my card revoked.
I don't do that.
No.
All right.
What were we saying? No, but what's the point? What's the draw of hoarding that much money? Like, if you could stretch your mind and try to think in that capacity, once you get past a certain level, what is the draw in continuing to accumulate more wealth?
It's got to be a dick measuring contest.
Yeah?
It's got to be because it has to be because at one point you get to have the moniker of I'm the richest person in the world. Like that's the people.
You look at our president, and that's not too far. Like you can see those people that want to say those like absolute things.
The people who feel their dick move in conversations like that are the kind of people that are going to be, oh, how big is your yacht?
Right.
How young's your wife? What model is your wife? Like it's going to be the people that want because they can. Because what else do they have to do?
Right.
It's like playing God mode on a game. Like you're invincible more or less.
Right.
I mean, really,
there's literally nothing you can't do.
Bezos bought the most expensive house in L.A. Just bought it. And the next door neighbor spot just because, you probably want to know who's coming in, right?
Sure, yeah.
So he just bought it. He could.
And it's so funny because I look at that and then I bought a block because I could, and then I look at that $300,000 thing and I think, wow, in like 2 or 3 months, I could have enough saved for a nice down payment,
right,
on a moderate house.
Yeah.
Like it's just the concept. It's hard for me to even think about because do you think if you had that much money, you would still be as conservative as you are with? Well, we can't really eat out every night. Like, do you think you would still want to cook at home, or would you finally reach a point?
So if I had Bezos money, you're asking me would I do that?
Yeah, or let's even put it at $1 billion. Let's put it
let's
more.
Just downgrade it to some bitch stuff like billionaire.
Let's say you're like next to living on welfare and you've got $1 billion. Would Practical Doug ever be able to let go of? We need to cook. I can't just buy this thing. I can't just go on this trip. We have to. Would you ever?
I think I'd be better with trips, but when it comes to food, I'm just so fucking picky. I'm just so fucking because those are the kinds of people that are going to be like, I'm going to go to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. He's going to serve me a meal. I'm like, I'm not going to like any of it.
Right.
I saw his trailer for his second master class. It's like, look at all this shit you can make. I'm like, that looks horrific.
I want none of it.
I was like, I guess it looks beautiful for a photo, but I wouldn't eat it. It looks terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
But we'll take away the food. I use that as a specific example because we talked about that. But like just being in general that always never taking your eye off the ghost. Like would you ever get comfortable enough to go, you know what? Because I'm sure you do the same thing where you wake up and maybe a couple times a week, if not every day, you check the bank account and go, all right, like, where are we? You take stock in like, okay, this is this, we're good here, and you're checking all your...
It's on my mind.
Where you're going. Sure. Right, exactly. I feel like at that point, I've always wondered if there will ever be a point where I'll just be comfortable enough to go, we got it, and I'll never have to think on it.
I think where that beauty of that comes in is just not having any debt. I think that's the thing where you're like, I bought my house.
Yeah. I'm good.
I obviously can buy cars.
Right.
Don't have any student loans. don't have a more like just knowing that you don't have to like make regular payments.
Right.
Just you have basically disposable income.
Right.
You know, sure, you'll have your bills and things like that. Obviously, you're going to pay whoever to maintain your house or whatever you're going to be doing. But
you can set auto draft up for that.
Exactly. But for the most part, it's like, I mean, for me, it's just more or less like I'm thrilled because my student loans are almost paid off, which is great. It's going to be a big chunk of money coming back into my account. I count down. I cannot wait until our cars are paid off again. So, like, then there's money that's back in. Like, the idea of, like, a continual payment of owing money is stressful to me. So I think the beauty would be, like, I don't have to worry about paying off debt.
Sure.
And debt isn't bad. I got a bad relationship with it because my parents never took out loans.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Because when they got married, my mom's dad bought my parents their first house because that's what you did.
Right.
You bought kids, hey, you little... go have your own home.
Right.
Because it was so cheap to do that, especially in rural Missouri.
Well, it was cheap to do that. And also, I mean, you can, this may be cliche or whatever, but like the dollar went further. The prices were just different. People, the amount that people had, the amount that people were able to earn, the opportunities, like everything the
economy was different.
It was just different. Yeah.
Which is why I hate those. It's like, I understand college kids today. I mean, I remember when I worked a job and went to college. It's like, yeah, but the cost of the school increased thousands of percentage, and the minimum wage is basically the same. So, eat your bowl of dicks. But so my parents,
but cook them at home. Don't go out to eat them.
Don't do that. Yeah. Save it. Unless you fished and caught them fresh, then you can take them someplace and they'll prepare them for you.
Absolutely. That's the best way to go.
That's the best way to do it. It's fresh.
It's the safest way.
Always. And they also just prepare them right. They gut them right. They get out the poop chute. Everything is
absolutely
good.
Yeah.
I understand how dicks work.
You do.
Mm-hmm. So I have a kid, so obviously I know.
I'm proud of you. Anatomy is your forte.
Absolutely. But so my parents were gifted their first home, so no mortgage payments and stuff. So they had a pretty good start with that. Most of the time they would buy their vehicles with cash.
Yeah.
So, but the downside is because they didn't have much debt, and I think they were probably scared of it. They would wait too long to buy things because they would buy it outright. So we outgrew our house way too fast, and we were crammed in this tiny house. And we finally got a new home, and then it was like, well, cool, Dave's going to graduate from high school in 2 years. So then he's out. We don't need all the space. So it was like poor timing because of that. And because of that, I never understood it. I always thought debt was bad because the only way I ever saw a thing about debt was like, it's like credit cards, it's terrifying.
Right.
Don't get them. Or this or that. I'm like, I always was like, debt is a bad thing. It's like, bad debt is a bad thing.
Right.
If you spend a whole bunch of, because that wasn't a bad advice with credit cards. Like, just don't go buy a bunch of shit on your credit card.
Right.
Because the interest rate's so high.
Use it wisely, yeah.
My student loans, it's a low interest rate. It's fine. You don't have to go and try and pay it off early. It's fine. You can actually pay it, and it's not that big of a deal. So I didn't really understand that very well, and I don't think my parents did either. So the idea of, like, having this thing, owing something. I'm very much a Lannister in that I always want to pay my debts. Like, I don't,
Right.
I want to make sure my stuff's paid on time.
Right.
Like, I don't ever want anyone to think that I can't pay it because that, to me, is a huge fear as well. It's like, well, Doug didn't pay.
Right.
I don't want to get like that scarlet letter.
Delinquent.
It's like, no. Like, I felt horrible for going into forbearance on my student loans for 2 years because I was like, huh?
What is forbearance?
Basically means I can't pay it right now, but I still want to. So
can you say I can't pay it right now and I don't want to?
Well, I mean, you can. That's how you get a really bad credit score.
Okay. I just want to know if that's an option.
It's basically it's like, hey, keep the juice running, but I'm not going to make any payments.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's, I basically earned an extra $5,000 in interest
that's
by
rough.
letting the juice run.
Okay, that's rough. Yep.
So that's, essentially it's a good faith thing saying I can't make the payments right now, but I want to. And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
You're still on the hook.
It bothers me that so in the chat here on Twitch we've had Jared said I'd like to have enough money that I didn't check my account when I go out to eat. And I've known that all too well. And how do you say it? Mystery?
Mr. E.
Mystery? Mm-hmm. Misery?
Mystery.
Mm-hmm. Mystery.
Sure.
Yeah. Amen to that. So obviously
masturbatory.
This is E.
Yes.
So it's the fact that is not uncommon is troublesome to me. It just it bothers me that's people should be able to go out and just have a life without having to fucking be concerned nonstop.
Yeah. I mean, part of that I get. It's just it's a mixed in society, right? Because you're getting told these are the things that you want, right? It's like go out, have a fine meal, buy these sorts of things and whatever, and you feel like a piece of shit if you don't. You know what I mean?
But it's not even go out, have a fun. Yes, like the marketers are wonderful at that. But I'm talking about just being able to, like, if you just want to go out and be like, it's a Saturday night, I want to go out and treat myself. Yeah. You know, or me and my significant other. Yeah. And then you'd be like, well, before we go, is it pay week or is it not pay week? And wait, let me check real quick. Okay, yeah, we can swing that, I guess. And like
we'll have to keep it within a certain range,
right? And then you're doing the math as you're ordering, and it's just that's such stressful. It saddens me that is I feel like very commonplace. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think what do they say? It's what you should have on hand in savings is like $10,000 or something like that.
Right, or it's 5 to 10 grand. 3 months pay. You know what I mean? Like I know some people equate it to that 3 months pay. Yeah. And it's just like, no, that's like people who say that anymore. You should have that. Why not? Why not have a year's pay on hand? Yeah. Like, why not have $129 billion on hand?
Isn't it amazing like how a lot of these like standard rules just don't apply anymore?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's frustrating because you live by these rules.
Right.
Like some of the dumb ones are like, you need to buy an expensive diamond as an engagement ring. It should be 3 months' salary.
Right.
It's like, fuck you and your ring.
3 months' salary, but that's what I had as a nest egg in case something happened. Yeah. I can't have 3 months' salary on hand and spend 3 months' salary. Oh, how's it going to work?
There were some things I felt early on in my life that I decided I'm so thankful that Jill was on board for it.
Oh, sure,
Number one, Valentine's Day is a crock of shit.
Thank you.
Number two, an engagement ring shouldn't be that expensive.
Boom.
Because what matters is that I love you.
Right.
And I don't have to show it with a fucking piece of jewelry.
Right.
Like...
you want to talk about the biggest marketing scams ever? Diamonds are ridiculous.
Diamonds are absolute horseshit.
Their actual value is nowhere. It's not even in the same ballpark as what they're sold for.
No, and it's hilarious because when I hear like millennials are killing the diamond market, I'm like, good, die,
good,
right? Bury you under the prison, you fucks.
Right?
Like I don't want to hear it.
For me, it would make so much. It would mean so much more if you bought like someone's birthstone or. You went and, it's something relating to an experience the two you had together. Right. So, like, there's so many other ways
There's more meaning.
There's so many other ways to approach it than just it's got to be a giant rock on my hand.
That's why I hate Valentine's Day, because it's like, society says today is when you're supposed to love this person. You're supposed to show it today. And I'm like, fuck you.
Today, you have romantic dinners, flowers, and you fuck.
Yeah, maybe.
But not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
Yep.
I mean, I kind of like there's on paper, it's like the day is like, hey, take a day to appreciate each other, but then everyone else got involved, like Pro Flowers.
Right. Fucking Pro.
Brought to you by ProFlowers.com. Get your bouquet of bullshit today.
Do you like bullshit flowers? We've got them.
We've got them all day.
Drew jumped in here and said minimum wage in California is $12 an hour, which is actually higher than the national average. However, average rent in California is over $2,000. So you look at that and you go, okay, do that math. Mm-hmm. How does that work?
Well, and that's, you get things like San Francisco and stuff where the market is insane and people can't actually afford to live.
Right.
And that sort of stuff. And it's bizarre. That sort of stuff is always difficult. And that's kind of the key nowadays. It's where can your money stretch the farthest, which is why places like Boise, Idaho, and are becoming hot spots.
Right.
Where I remember I knew a guy in college he was from Boise. He's like, dude, that place fucking sucks. It's becoming a hot spot now because these folks from LA or whoever are looking for a place to get away, and Boise's the new spot. Because
it's bonkers.
Mountains. Yeah. It's quiet.
I mean, it's not bonkers because it's nice, but like it's just what a random spot to have that.
People talk about retirement, right? Where are you thinking about? Right. Well, some people are looking like, I want to go down to Buenos Aires or some place where your money is going to go farther.
Absolutely,
because that's what makes the most sense. It used to be Florida because there was no income tax, which I think is still the case.
Yeah.
So,
you're correct on that. Yeah,
which makes no sense, but whatever. So people are just trying to find ways to stretch it, and it's, I don't know.
One of the things I find interesting is that towns that start to get attention for low-cost housing and livability are being brought to light via stuff like HGTV, where they have these shows. Like, there's a show called The Boise Boys, and they flip homes in Boise, Idaho. And so They show what you can get there, how nice it can be, then a little bit of a local flair on that. There's another one in Laurel, Mississippi, where Beth is obsessed right now with Laurel, Mississippi, and actually just wants to take a trip there just to see it.
Yeah.
But like you can get a home for $40,000, sink another $80,000 into it, and for $120,000, you've got a high-end, beautifully redone home. And it's like that kind of stuff is affordable. You've got to move to these towns, but if people start moving there, the town gets nicer, but then the town gets nicer, prices go up, and then you got to move to the next town. It's this weird, like, cyclical thing that happens.
Yeah, it's beautiful and it's awful. Because again, unlike becoming a billionaire, at some point it becomes like, what's happening?
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
But I do like the idea that you can inject, like a sleepy town like that can get a renaissance. You know, I do like that concept.
Or you can get a Detroit on your hands, and a town could just completely go under.
Yeah, but that's the game you play when you play Game of Cities.
You either live or you die.
You either live or you die.
Game of Cities.
Dun, 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 dun.
Where would you want to retire?
That's a really good fucking question. I'd like to retire someplace where you don't have to deal with the winter. Personally.
Yeah,
and I know that's a common theme. I know that's why Florida.
I have an image in my mind. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
But it's about 5 p.m. in the afternoon. The sun's going down, but the sun is still like out, so it's like you could be outside on a lawn. There's palm trees. Maybe it's a suburb. I don't know, but it's warm. It's comfortable. It's quiet. And
is it Fiji?
No. I don't know.
You sure it's not Fiji?
Pretty sure it's not Fiji.
I've seen a picture like that in
Fiji.
Fiji.
It's on my desktop.
Yeah.
You know, but I imagine someplace warm because I never thought I'd be the guy that's like, fuck the winter. But I'm like, dude, when I'm old, I don't want to deal with the winter.
Yeah, you don't want to worry about slipping or salting or shoveling, driving. Right.
No.
None of it.
Fuck that.
And just being cold in general.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Which I know you'd typically run warm.
No.
I don't want it. I don't want it. Someplace, I don't know. There's another part of me that would love to retire to a place similar to like the Pacific Northwest and just be able to like take walks around the woods, you know. But you go up there, and in my head I'm like, oh, like Canmore, Canada,
yeah,
or something like that. But I'm like, no, then you're right back into winter. Like I love the concept of that, but then come those months, whole town shut down up there because of winter.
Yeah.
So I guess I would have to go somewhere, I don't know, in between. Wherever I go, I want a body of water. That's the only thing I know. Be it a big lake, a river, an ocean, whatever it is.
You don't want a river.
I lived in the Quad Cities for a bit.
You don't want a river.
I just want to. I know that I need to live next to a body of water, or within, if not right next to it, but like within proximity to a body of water. For me, that's kind of a non. That's where one of my lines is.
But don't get a boat, okay?
Why, Doug?
It's a depreciating asset.
Oh,
all right?
I don't know that.
I don't think your monthly income is going to be able to handle.
You don't know that.
I'm just saying.
When I have $1 billion,
your fixed income is going to have to struggle with
my
it.
$1 billion fixed income.
What would you name exactly? What would you name your boat?
I would name it Not a Penny Over $1 Billion, and it'd be very long.
Not a penny over $1 billion.
I'd just name it Billionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Billionaire?
Billionaire.
That's awesome.
What would you name yours?
I wouldn't have one.
I knew.
You almost got me on
I
that
would name
one.
it Doesn't Exist.
I'd be like, not my kid.
I would name it Not My Boat.
not my boat.
Jeff's boat. Who's Jeff? I don't know, but it's not my boat.
Yeah. Dull Moment says, I saw a tweet the other day, can't verify its accuracy, that Bloomberg spent $600 million on his campaign ads in 1 month. But Flint, Michigan doesn't have clean water, so obviously most of these arguments come down to misappropriation of funds and what's actually important. Yeah, I struggle with wealth and that sort of stuff because it's easy in our position to be like, well, how come Bloomberg just doesn't pay for that, And I think it's one of those things where how do you – I don't know. It's too tough to determine, like, what's the right thing to do from a humanity standpoint, and
right.
And where do you draw the line? I don't know. It's complex, and
I never want to shame anyone for the amount. Like that's the thing too. Like you get into the other side of it, and I'm like, make your money. Like, I don't ever, like, it is this weird, like, line in the sand that gets drawn, this arbitrary line where
don't know where it is
you're
either.
fine. Okay, now you've got too much.
Yeah.
But, and look, if you're making your money, if you're making your way, that's great. I wouldn't want anyone to limit how much I could make. I don't want to limit that for someone else. But I do think that when you have an egregious amount of money like that, different considerations, just as from a humanities aspect, different considerations need to be taken to, better the world for everyone. Like you are in a unique position to be a superhero of sorts. Take it.
Yeah, and to Drew, I'd say, can you really put a price tag on becoming the president?
Wait, what?
Can you really put a price tag on becoming the president of the United States of America?
Yes.
Apparently
$600 billion. No, you're right.
Apparently, it didn't make sense, or it didn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there was this company we studied when I was in college in a business courses. It was talking about business ethics, and I don't remember the name of it, but essentially what happened was for whatever, it was like a plant that made like winter wear and things like that, and it was a staple in this town for years, decades. And something happened where the plant had to shut down, and I can't remember why. I don't remember the circumstances for it, but the owners still paid the employees while it was shut down every week or whatever. They gave them their paychecks. They're like, we're going to pay you guys anyway. And I just remember that it was really powerful because we were talking about the social responsibility of corporations in America, which oddly poignant today. Didn't see it back then when I was 20 years old. But it was fascinating because there was a story about, it's like, this corporation is still paying these employees even though they're not doing any work. And they're like, why are you doing it? He's like, because these guys essentially are our family. They're a part of what we do, and it's not their fault that this isn't operable and they can't work right now. And we want them to stay, so we're going to pay. Well, obviously, it's a smaller organization, and the long story of it is eventually that it went bankrupt. Not because of that, but something else happened that put them bankrupt. But it was an interesting concept of that, which it was actually kind of sad that was such a foreign idea.
Right.
That, they have a legal responsibility to do that? No.
Sure.
They don't have to, because they're like, hey, guys, sorry, plant shut down. If you're not working, we don't have to pay you. But it's almost like, to revisit something you said the other episode, where you're talking about whether or not you're going to recline your seat back in an airplane. You don't owe it to anybody to tell them that you're going to do it.
Right.
You can just do it. There's a button there. You can push it. You
right.
can go. But the thing that puts it above, it's a plus one, is you go into that person and say, hey, look, I really want to recline my seat. Is okay if I do that? And it's sort of like giving it that extra. It'd be nice in some situations if that's the case. But on the other side of that, too, we live in a world where people will take advantage of that.
Yes.
I don't know if your organization has been hit with like coronavirus talk.
People very much
working from home
very
and things
much.
like that. I similarly have seen some of that discussion in sort of our general forums. And there's this thing about people that are kind of like talking about how they really want it. And like, but what if we don't have time? And there's just this, I can't honestly say this for sure, but it seems like there's an element of someone like, hey, any word on that yet? Because I want to work from home. It's almost like someone wants to take advantage of the situation.
There's that stink that they're going to work from home because they think they can get away with not doing work
or less work.
They
just want to enjoy, it's a situation where like, cool, I'd love to work from home, even though they don't let me. And it's because of assholes like that. That's why we can't have nice things. Because there's always someone who's going to take advantage of it. And even though they're the minority in that situation, that becomes the poster child where it's like, well, this asshole did this, so now we can't all do it. And it's like, motherfucker.
Right.
You realize this is, it's like, imagine you work at a place and you get like free cookies, right? Cookies are always out there. All right?
Give me a second to imagine that.
All right? And
so good.
Just the social rule is that have them whenever you want, and then but don't be an asshole. Mm-hmm. All right. And then you get a guy who comes in, new guy, and he's just like every day after work you see him just loading up his backpack with the cookies. And you're like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I'm getting cookies. It's like, you can't take that many. And he just sort of like slides the employee manual and goes, well, it doesn't say in there that I can't.
Right.
And
these are out here for everyone.
And you're like, you're really going to make me do this? You're going to make me define in the employee handbook that you can take X amount of cookies per day? Absolutely. Because you're going to ruin it for everybody because you're a dick. Mm-hmm. And you're like, or as Jared would say, you're a dick.
Right. Or a dick.
You're a dick. And that's the kind of stuff where I'm like, why would you take advantage of something? You're so selfish. That you're like, and every night he's just piling up his backpack with cookies. You're like, why are you doing this?
Right.
Why? Well, because it's there. And I'm like, are you selling them, or do you just? What are you doing?
Right.
What cookie monster do you have at home that you have to feed? Otherwise, it will consume your soul. Like,
it's called a tapeworm.
It's like Jesus. Like that is always the stuff that makes me lose faith in humanity and makes me root for the villain in movies. Because it's like his guys like that. It's like fuck that guy.
Right.
Fuck him. Because now we have to get into a debate about how many cookies we can have.
Right.
It's like we have to get into a debate of like what you can wear at work that's appropriate. Because someone's like, well, I mean, it doesn't say that I can't wear flip-flops. It's like, well, do you think that's appropriate for this workforce?
Yes.
Jack.
Common sense is not common.
No.
Like that's the unfortunate thing is that everyone's gonna whatever an individual person feels like, whatever an individual person feels like where they're the most comfortable, they'll stretch the rule to fit around what makes them the most comfortable. So if they're the most comfortable wearing flip-flops at work, then they're going to find that loophole and say, well, nowhere does it technically say I cannot wear,
My personality does not function that way.
It's not. It doesn't say I have to wear closed-toed shoes. It's like, what? That's not what it means. And I think that too comes from because for a long time I've struggled with the concept of doing stuff for, it's not me, it's the larger us. And then the other side of that is no one's going to look out for number one but you.
Yeah.
So you've got to, if you see something, you take it for yourself because no one else is going to give it to you.
Yeah.
And it sucks because as much as you want to go towards the side of let's make it like, I'm gonna be concerned about you. You're gonna be the improv rule. If I'm concerned about you and you're concerned about me, then everyone's helping each other out, and then no one's no one's wanting.
Yeah.
But to get people to trust everyone else to get to that point is impossible. So you've got everyone else going, well, I'm just gonna. That's great. I'm gonna look out for me now, and when we get there, I'll join in. And so everyone has that mentality of, well, I'm gonna look out for number one, and then that's how we end up with the $129 billion net worth. Right.
It's the prisoner's dilemma, right? Two prisoners got caught for a crime. They're separated in interrogation, and the investigator goes into each one and says, if you give up information on your partner, you basically get to walk free, or you get a reduced sentence. If you don't say anything, and we still convict you, you get like life in prison. So what are you going to do? And most of the time, people are going to look at that situation. They're going to like, well, I'm going to rat the other person out because it's in my best interest to do so. Why would I have solidarity if the risks, outweigh the benefits here? And it's a situation where we can look at someone like Bloomberg and be like, how come you didn't fix Flint's situation? Well, I'd ask the question to myself, billionaire Doug. Doug, would you fix Flint's water crisis? Because part of it's got to be a whiffum, right? What's in it for me? It's got to be, right?
Well, also, and there are to that end, there are so many individual things that you could put your money behind, and I think that's the other side of this, and not to argue against helping out, but like you look at that, and so let's say he put his money towards Flint, then someone else is going to go, why didn't you help out? Why did you help out here but not over here? And why did you help out there but not over here? And then it starts to become, well, how many places am I personally responsible for? Just again, this is just devil's advocating,
of course,
but like this is the weird gridlocked debate you get into.
Yeah, right. And again, where's that line? Where's that arbitrary line where you're like, I have enough to be comfortable, or yada yada yada? I think it's a fear, honestly, of the unknown. It's a fear of what possibly might happen. It's a fear of your fortune going away.
Right.
If I spend $600 million on fixing Flint, but then what if I get sued for something and then they take it for, they know how much I'm worth and therefore they go after yada yada.
Right.
I mean, that's a completely fabricated situation.
Sure.
But I could appreciate to some extent they're like, but I could lose it all. And then what? Are you going to go from being billionaire to nobody? I mean, that's probably an unrealistic fear.
Right.
But it's got to exist in some degree.
To Dull Moment's point, I agree. I fully agree with what you just said here. He said, I don't think it has to be one person footing the whole bill, but someone like Bloomberg giving $100,000 to Flint, a lot of other people should follow suit from that. So you give a little bit of a lot, and then everyone else gives a little bit of a lot, and it just keeps kind of snowballing. I 100% agree with that. I'm not saying he needs to donate $600 million to one thing, but I'm just playing the devil's advocate role of like, he goes, okay, well, I've given to hit this, and I've given to these 30 things, but is that enough? Or will people still say, well, you should give to these other 30 things and these other 30 things? And it becomes this. Personally, I don't think that should stop you. Like, I know I'm arguing against myself again, but
this is hilarious.
To Drew's point, I'm just saying both sides. These are both sides of the debate. You know what I mean? I am of that side where give a little bit to a lot of different places, and then hopefully other people will help. Like any little bit helps, basically.
Or whatever. Again, I think people are obviously free to do what they want. But at some point, again, if you have $137 billion, I mean, take a billion of that and put it towards something. You know what I mean? I don't know. Put $1 billion of that towards the next Avatar movie or something. I don't know.
I'm just curious to know what his net worth is.
Because I'd like to think yeah, again, I'm not in that position, but I'd like to think that if I had that much money,
$56 billion.
Pussy.
I like how it's 56.1, as if that 0.1 makes a fuck of a difference.
Yeah, right. It does in their world.
Sure. No, in our world it does. In their world, that's just a fart in the wind.
No, because technically he's 0.1 over someone else. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what?
I got more than you.
I'll give you that.
It's a dick measuring contest.
We'll give you
$600 million was jack shit to that guy. He was it 56.1?
56.1 billion.
Well, he was 56.8 just a little bit ago, but not anymore.
Boy.
Oh boy.
This guy.
That's not how it works.
Dropping.
Or is it? I don't know. I don't understand math.
56.
Yeah, it was.
It would. That would technically be that.
That would be.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, could you take, I don't know, a couple more million off of there? I mean, if you have $66 billion, what if you took $50 million and put it towards something?
If you have $56 billion, take $1 billion, you motherfucker.
Right? And put it towards something.
Split that or split it up.
I say eradicate one thing. Aim high.
Aim high and take out one thing.
This motherfucker right here.
Boom. You're all welcome. That you don't have to worry about this thing anymore. On to the next thing.
Cure cancer. Go.
Like
you next year, Alzheimer's. You're on deck.
You're on deck.
He just has a list.
Right.
He's like, here we go. Bring it on.
I make the money so I can use it to fix things.
There you go. Well,
that is a tight slogan. Airtight slogan.
I got $56 billion. I got 56 years left. $1 billion each. Here you go.
There you go.
I'm making a list, checking it twice. Go fuck yourself.
The lesser known Santa Claus story.
Exactly, right? I think it's fun to think of it in those terms. Almost like how you think of it, like if you had that money, what would you spend it on? I would like to think about if you had $56 billion and you could pick 3 things to fix. What would they be? Like, what would you give money towards to, like, help? Like, what would you do? What would you fund?
Personally. You're asking me. I mean, Alzheimer's would be one that I would put a bunch of money towards.
Yeah,
right. I would say, maybe pick the. I don't want to. I don't want to go diseases.
Well, do one disease.
One disease, one this, one social. Yeah.
I'll do one animal.
You know what? That's a really good. I don't know. Like that's.
Well, you don't dream about this every day. You fucking asshole.
Look, I'm a monster, guys. I'm a cookie monster. I am that guy that is a cookie monster. One of them would probably be Alzheimer's. I look at cancer and I go, you could fund cancer, but there's so many things that you
fund cancer.
I would. I would put my money behind.
You're like, I'm rooting for cancer.
We're gonna see how many more different strains we can make.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's even more resistant to medicine. No, I don't know. I'd have to really kind of take a close look at what's going on and what could most benefit. I would definitely pick first something that hits close to home, which would for me would most likely be Alzheimer's, and then something else based off of what I've looked at. Yeah.
I think I know.
Bring me a list.
All right.
Bring me a list of what needs money.
Bring me a list.
Yeah.
I know Willard T. Pickens would definitely put some money towards eradicating the emerald ash borer, for sure.
Well, he would.
He would absolutely.
He's all about spy bugs.
He would assassinate those guys, without a doubt.
But really, how important is that to the American people?
I mean, have you seen the devastation it's done to our ash trees?
Have you seen the devastation that poverty has done to our poverty-stricken people? That is what Richard H. Johnson is all about.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? So what Dick Johnson
That is what Dick wants to get behind that.
What's, okay.
So Drew says mental health. Obviously, that is a huge thing. And I agree, mental health. Why not? I've got a couple $1 billion. I will throw money behind that. Jared says I would put mine towards ending homelessness. And Maka68 says education.
Hey, welcome back, Maka. Oh, man, that would be great, right? Education. Being like, hey, I'll do what the government can't. I'll fund some education. That'd be nice.
That would be wonderful.
Hunger. Trying to combat that sort of stuff. The list is endless, really. Because I think part of it, too, is like...
You know what I would put some of mine behind? Global efforts, the climate change. Yeah. I would definitely put that, trying to write something.
Because that's the thing, too, is like, I bet it's got to be frustrating to have, like, saying you were willing to commit $1 billion somewhere. How do you know what that $1 billion is going to do?
So this I have thought about. I have thought about this. Could you just put $1 billion towards healthcare? Yes, you could, but
in what way?
Well, I mean, you have any idea how quick that will be gone?
I'm going to pay bills
when it is like hundreds of trillions of dollars a year. Yeah, I mean you could do that. Yeah, I'm going to pay this hospital's bills off. Maybe I don't know.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, but I would put a stipulation in my donation to whatever organization it is that I need an itemized way this will be spent, and I need reporting back on how it is being spent.
Yeah,
but just based off the fact that I have heard too many horror stories of it going completely awry and people lining their pockets and then these things getting paid out. So I'd want to sit down and speak with, if it was a facility, tour the facility, actually really get to know what it is that you're putting your thing behind, your money behind. And because for a long time I was like, well, if I had money, I'd put something behind like a Tourette's organization.
Sure.
I'd put something behind Alzheimer's. But I was like, I would absolutely want reporting back on exactly how this money was being spent, or write something legally into, here's what you're allowed to spend it on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a really, that's what I'd be paranoid about. And because here's the thing, I know of an organization that essentially sponsors a charity to end childhood hunger, and basically they donate essentially $1 million a month towards it.
Wow!
So this charity essentially has a sponsor that they don't have to worry about. They obviously will try to get more money, but they have a sponsor that's just giving them $1 million a month plus towards ending childhood hunger.
Right.
I mean, that is the jackpot of a charity.
Yeah.
Right? So I would like to court someone like that and be like, I have a lot I'd be willing to offer you in perpetuity, but you have to make sure that X, Y, and Z happens, because if at any point in time you don't,
right,
I'm going to pull funding.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's how it's going to go.
Like, I like what you're doing. If you stay on this path, we can have a nice relationship.
Yeah. Listen, I'm willing to fund whatever you need, but you got to prove to me that it's worth it.
Absolutely.
It can't be a bunch of horse shit.
Absolutely,
and more than that, I'd be willing to advocate for it. Does that mean, I will personally go out and speak? Do you want commercials? Do you want whatever?
Yeah.
You tell me what you want. I've got it, but you got to prove to me.
I am part of your organization. Yeah.
Man, that'd be weird to have that kind of power, wouldn't it?
It would be,
to basically be like, I could pull your funding at any time. Just make me happy.
I'm going to strong arm you into doing good.
Dance for me, puppet.
Jared says, if you had $56 billion, you can retire and manage your donations personally, which is very true.
That's true. You just sit every day and be like, where's my report? It's 9 a.m. I want my report.
The other thing you could do is what Jared also said. He goes, do what they did on John Oliver episode, buy a bunch of people's debt and just erase it.
See, how much does that help?
Well, so there's two ways of thinking about that. One, if those people irresponsibly got into debt the first time, there's a good chance that they're going to do it again, and your money didn't help at all. Mm-hmm. But if you can, looking at this on a micro level instead of a macro level, if you can donate a bunch of money to a big organization and help a little. But what he did, I think, is interesting. I'm not saying it's the right way to do things, but what he did is interesting. Is he personally impacted the lives of a handful of people, and made their lives infinitely better, presumably, in that process.
Yeah,
and that's an interesting way to go about it. You know what I mean? Of like going, look, this group of people here, for whatever reason, you lucked out, and we're erasing your debt.
Yeah.
Build from there. Good luck.
Yeah. There's something pretty cool about that. I think I was watching some sort of sports show, football related.
Oh, one of those sports shows.
One of those sports shows.
Yes.
And there was an athlete who, essentially, he's been running a charity for years now, where essentially he gives people, underprivileged people, a home and a stocked pantry full of food, because he went through the same thing growing up.
That's awesome.
And he basically, he's given away, I think, 40 or 50 homes.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And I was like, it really affected me, because it's like, holy shit, that guy is changing people's lives, because you don't realize having a roof over your head with food
what
makes
that can
all
do.
the difference in the world, just for a kid at school, or just having stability, mental health, all that sort of stuff. And I think that would be pretty special if you could regularly find people that just need a second chance and just wiping it out.
Well, in a way, Ellen does the same thing on her show, where she, like, again, it's not to the nth degree, but like just doing the little things of like, oh, you have this, payment you can't make, or oh, you needed to get this thing done, or oh, you need to whatever. We got you. And our friends at whatever are underwriting this, and done. Yeah. That's done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And actually, if that goes correctly, this athlete you're talking about, really, you're almost investing in. I look at that as investing in society, one person at a time. Yeah. Because you put this family in a home, you put food in their pantry. That's something these parents don't have to worry about. The kid sees that. The kid grows up and wants to do something similar. Yeah. Makes their way. Gets a great job, does what they can to get in a position in life where they can then offer that. Yeah. And then that spreads exponentially bigger and bigger and bigger. And
Social change.
I do like that from, a micro level. That's a really cool concept.
Especially for someone who's just like, we're talking about billionaires and people who maybe were born into that. There's people that are born into the other end of the spectrum too, which is just like, hey man, you got in a shitty neighborhood with shitty job prospects, with all these other sorts of things. Like, it is what it is, and if you can try to cancel that out, I mean, that's got to be pretty fucking special. Yeah, to do that. I don't think I've ever had that level of impact on anybody where I've been able to be like, ta-da! Right. I'd be like, congrats! I taught you how to do your job.
You want to talk about a legacy? Yeah. And you might not be globally known for it, but you will forever be known. The people whose lives that athlete has touched, they ain't ever going to forget him. Yeah, right. Like there's a legacy to leave there.
That's what it really affected me so much when I watched it. I was like, holy shit! Like, that guy gave this family a chance. Right. He's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I can't do anything else, but at least you got your home. Right. You got some food for now, and you got a place to go. Absolutely. I'm really bad at philanthropy. I always have been. Like, not that I don't want to give to people, but I'm like, look, man, I don't have much to offer. I do. I know I can offer more than what I'm willing. And I want to try and do that a little bit more with Natalie. But I would like to think that if I could do something that special, like I would like to think I could be that compelled to just be like, hey, man, here's something. Like, especially having a kid. It's true, man. Having a kid changes it. Like, I think about Toys for Tots. Sure. Kids that have a Christmas without any toys. I'm like, what can I give this kid? Something. Like, even if something is like the cards for kids that we did at work. Oh, it was.
I was about ready to come across this table at you. No, you know what I thought you said.
What's that?
Oh, you don't know?
What, cards for kids?
Cars for kids. You know that fucking commercial? Right. 1877 Cars for Kids. Yeah. KARS Cars for Kids.
I'm at Cards for Kids.
Thank God. Because if there's one charity that should go away,
it's Cars for Kids.
It's Cars for Kids. Or just get someone to write a fucking better jingle, guys. Come on.
I'm like, but it works.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I've launched campaigns against this charity.
It's in your head, though. Fucking motherfucker. So from that perspective, it worked.
Fine.
But for me, like, this was a really cool charity that essentially sends kids, like, people will write and draw like these cards and send them to kids in hospitals, because kids can't either celebrate birthdays or holidays or whatever, just to let people know, hey, I'm thinking about you. Keep talking. It's one of those things where for me, it's really special, because I did some Valentines for some kids, and I thought to myself, what if Natalie couldn't have a card or something like that. I was like, so I'm gonna do something special. I'm gonna build a couple of nerdy things. I did one that was Marvel related, and I also did another one that was Valentine's for what was it? It was fucking PJ Masks.
Okay.
Because I was like, I just want, there's going to be I did a Doctor Strange one specifically. I'm like, some kid out there hopefully will get this and be like, hey, it's Doctor Strange.
Absolutely.
And the other one was PJ Masks. I'm like, all these kids love it because I don't typically do that sort of stuff. I'm like, what do I have to offer? But I'm like, imagine if that was my kid and they didn't have a Valentine's. I was like, God, that would suck. So I don't know. I'm kind of rambling here with this sort of stuff, but I want to be better with that. I want to.
You're not rambling at all. I think what you're speaking to is something that, again, it's a notion that you've had in you, but I think having a kid brings that further out of you. Like this is exactly what you think about is like put yourself in that position.
Yeah.
Now you get to do that. Is like now I have a kid, and what would happen if she did not get this thing or she didn't get to have this experience, and that's heartbreaking for you. So now you've increased your empathetic capacity, if you will.
Yeah, I tell you, man, there's just so much stuff that I'm a lot more able to handle. But if there's one thing I can't handle, it's fucking entitled parents. If there's an entitlement sort of spectrum,
oh boy, here we go.
It's parents who feel that, and this happened the other day when I was at Costco.
Give me the story.
Well, Costco is just a fucking. You should just film a zombie movie there.
Oh
because people they aimlessly wander. They don't follow any sort of rules to the road, and there's just this element of people who want a deal. There's just this type of person, the way they act, they're just like on the hunt for something.
Yeah,
and they're very particular. If someone thinks they're getting a deal, they are just vicious. They're just like like these little gremlins,
precious,
roaming around. Yeah. And I was waiting in line, and this woman was just talking to her daughter. She was probably about Natalie's age, but just in a way that was so loud, almost like she was trying to proclaim to the world that she was a good mom. Like she had all the stuff in her cart, and she's like, "Oh, are you gonna cook me breakfast? Are you gonna cook me eggs and bacon? Oh, I love you too." I was just like, "Shut the fuck up! Take your velvet pants and hike them up a little bit further in your floral blouse or whatever." I'm like, "Why are you even here on a Friday morning? I'm here because I took the day off. Why are you here? What are you doing?"
Oh, I love everything about this.
I don't need you to promote to the world that you're a good mom. Like, I love you. And it wasn't like baby talk.
You think this is the same kind of person that posts baby pictures?
Probably.
On their social media
Probably.
feeds? Yeah.
Probably the same person that will hop on and be like, give someone shit for not breastfeeding. If we're using formula, it's not natural. You realize they're going to be dumber because of it. Whatever.
I'm banking on it.
I don't want to be smarter than me.
I'm playing the long game here.
Or, at my old place when I lived in the city, like parents would just double park, triple park, wherever they wanted because they're like, I had to get my kid out of school. I'm like, look, I get it. After having Natalie, getting your kid in the car with a car seat and stuff, it sucks. But at the same time, I was like, you guys don't get preferential treatment because you have a child.
Right.
Like, this is why, I would get so angry because you guys, not only that, you're taking up all the space on the sidewalk. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Like, I have a kid, and I'm cognizant of that. I'm not going to take up everyone else's space. Mm-hmm. Like, just, anyway. Yeah. Fuck them.
Please continue.
But also, at the same time, having a kid has made me, like, way more open to things like, I don't know, the Morton Arboretum. Someplace I never would have gone.
Sure.
Where I'm like, why am I going to go look at trees? Or I'm like, yeah, there's a zoo. Congrats. Or whatever. The shed, it's overpriced.
Congrats, you captured a panda.
But taking Natalie to those places and watching her react when she sees a beluga whale swim by, or where she sees a squid, or she sees a terrifying snapping turtle. Like
that's at the Morton Arboretum.
That's all at the Shed Aquarium that we went to. Yes, so Morton Arboretum has a giant squid.
Yeah, it's very odd.
It's very strange.
It's a tree-dwelling giant squid.
Yeah, for her to go and see that stuff and be like, "Oh, it's an alligator." I'm like, "You know what that is? Congrats, you're not an idiot." I'm glad. It's very. It's very cool to see her.
Was that another commentary on formula feeding?
Maybe.
Oh my goodness, this guy's getting political, guys. I'm
sorry. Political.
It's getting hot up in here.
Dude, the debate between parents on breastfeeding versus non-breastfeeding is fierce.
Is it really?
Oh my
God. I guess
it's
just something that's completely not even in my line of sight.
Oh, dude, the moms that will get vicious where they're like, "Oh, you can't breastfeed? Well, I guess you're subpar." Like they just think that it's awful. It's absolutely awful, and the fighting that they get into online over it is wild. Speaking of fighting,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a few things where I was going to jump in, but I
was giving you some stuff.
So you were trying to set me up?
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I got you, man.
Yeah. So today's throwdown, in honor of what our topic ended up being, we're going to do a three-way throwdown.
Oh, good.
And it is going to be Mr. Mike Bloomberg versus Mr. Jeff Bezos versus Trump. I'm not even going to give him the honor of Mr.
Jesus. I don't even really physicality wise.
Right. And here's the thing. They don't get to utilize the billions and billions of dollars that they collectively
get thrown into a pit in a sumo wrestler's diaper.
That's it.
And they used to basically have
to so Trump can't call on his hordes of Trumpers. No. Bezos can't call on his Amazon drones, and Bloomberg can't call on his horde of New York City rats that follow him around everywhere.
I mean, I guess Bezos seems like the youngest of them all.
Yes, I'm not even going to look it up. He is.
But he also seems like the smallest of them all.
Bloomberg's a tiny little fuck.
Is he?
He's teeny.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so I guess I give Bezos a bit of an advantage there. I mean, Trump is definitely, I think, the biggest.
Yes, he's
them.
He's the biggest, and if he sits on you, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
If he falls in your direction, you better move.
Because if Bezos and Bloomberg are small, I mean Trump. I imagine the two of them would team up against Trump.
I would have to assume the same.
It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're like.
Well, I don't know if Bezos is necessarily short, but he's thinner.
He seems smaller.
Yeah.
So I imagine that the two of them would probably look at each other and be like, "We could fight each other now." And whoever wins loses.
Whoever wins has to face that solo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we might as well both take that out, and then it's like
game on
from there.
I don't think Trump would be too hard. I feel like just based off of his general physicality and a presumed health, it's going to be a quick out for him.
I just think Bezos.
He might have a heart attack and just bite it.
I'll say Bezos seems like the most in shape.
I will agree with that.
So I think
also Bloomberg, I think, is about 78, so he's pushing. He's getting up there in years.
Yeah. Okay.
Now he's New York, so he might have that that New York attitude. He's also small, so he's an ankle biter.
Yeah. Dull Moment says someone will be using Bezos as a battering ram.
No one can pick him up. Bloomberg can't pick him up.
Yeah, I think Bloomberg would definitely be willing to cut a deal. He's the guy who's like willing to do because he's older. He's a little more frail.
Exactly. He's got more money than Trump, but less money than Bezos.
Yeah, and I think he's just like
Let's cut a deal.
He's more of a survivalist, whereas like Trump is going to talk a big game. But the thing against going against Trump is that his ego cannot handle anything that goes wrong with it. So the second he starts to lose, mentally he capitulates.
Absolutely.
So I think that puts him at a huge disadvantage. And honestly, what's he going to talk shit to Bezos and
who are both richer than he is?
They're both richer, and what's he going to be like? He's going to come up with some alliterative sort of like nickname that's not going to mean shit.
Oh, baby Bezos and baby Bloomberg. Wait, oh no, the same thing. Two B's.
Baby.
I don't have enough words.
So I imagine the two of them will
He's going
to
come up with crazy fists. Yeah.
The two of them will team up, and then I think Bezos, obviously will kill Bloomberg.
I feel like Bezos comes out on top, yeah.
I think ultimately. The only thing that would happen to be is if I could see Bloomberg saying he's going to do an alliance, and then in the moment where Bezos is occupied choking the life out of Trump, he pulls some sort of like...
He sneaks up behind Bezos and just puts him in a sleeper?
Yeah.
So it's basically a three-way sleeper hold where Bloomberg has Bezos, has Trump, right? Like it's just that, and they all start to, and then Bloomberg, because he's older, he just gets tired and he passes out.
Well, he falls over and breaks a hip. And
then the life alert system kicks in,
and then it's like, I'm having chest pains.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
And then that's it. So
I would definitely have to say though that I think Bezos is just wily enough to where, unfortunately. Look, again, it's one of those where no matter who wins, we lose. Yeah. But I feel like Bezos is definitely the one who's going to be. I do think the team up would happen, and then if it's mano a mano on Bloomberg versus Bezos, I got to give it to Bezos.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so Bezos for the win.
Also, what is it? Trump doesn't Bezos own the Washington Post?
Probably.
I'm pretty sure he does, and Trump hates the Washington Post. So it's like, I'm trying to think of like what other crazy alliances could there be, but I'm like, I think it's just going to be two of them versus Trump.
Yeah.
So
I love the fact, if you haven't seen it, you got. I think when Steve Carell hosted SNL, they did a parody commercial where it was Bezos. He played Jeff Bezos, and he was doing this, just promoting Amazon. But the further the commercial went along, the more it was clear that he was just goading Trump the entire time, because Trump cannot stand that he's not as wealthy as Bezos, and the fact that Bezos can just talk shit about him.
Yeah.
And so it was just
again, being rich to me is a dick measuring match. That's
absolutely, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, we figured it out.
We figured it out. Dick measuring here on my.
If someone finally reveals Trump's bald spot, he's done.
Yeah, exactly.
And lose. Bezos has nothing to lose up top.
Exactly.
He's like, I'm good.
He's like, I
got my lazy eye. I'm good. Yeah.
So Justin, what do you got to recommend this week?
Boy. Oh, I don't know if I read. Jojo Rabbit is just fucking stunning. I love that movie. I've seen it twice in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Taika Waititi is a low-key genius.
Yeah.
He is just fucking...
He's a low-key genius.
He's a low-key genius, yeah. That's my new thing. I'm saying low-key now. Yeah. No, he's a brilliant filmmaker. I absolutely love him, and this movie... I hope one day I can make something that rides the line so brilliantly between comedy and all the feels, and such a serious subject, but so funny at the same time. Like he pulled it off masterfully.
That's awesome.
So I strongly recommend Jojo Rabbit.
Nice. I'd recommend The Outsider. It finished season 1. Watch it. It's great. I loved the way it ended. So you should absolutely check that out. It's fantastic. Also, check out the Honeydew podcast with Ryan Sickler. It is amazing. Comedians sit down with Ryan Sickler, who's also a comedian, and the conceit of it is highlighting the lowlights. And it's people talking about some pretty awful trauma in their lives, but in a way in which they can laugh at it. And I find it amazing. And not only that, it's oddly helpful. Because you hear about stuff that people have gone through and what they're doing to deal with it. And at the same time, you get to laugh. It's an amazing sort of view of just how people are dealing with stuff. And it's fantastic. Like I think there's a psychology or some sort of course here that's assigning his podcast as like part of their curriculum.
That's awesome.
As a part of the idea of like identifying like trauma and how to work through it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Ryan Sickler is not only a fantastic host, but he does such a good job of just like making people feel comfortable, feeling safe, talking about stuff, and at the same time sharing a good laugh about things that are dark. And it's a beautiful podcast. So check that out, The Honeydew.
Only a comedian, I find only a comedian could ride that line. Again, it's this with humor and dark, humor and serious. It's such a fine line, and comedians have such a unique gift in that. A good comedian does.
Yeah, it's so good, and most comedians are fucked up, so they have good stories.
It's exactly right. I think Sickler hit the nail on the head with this one.
Yeah, it's really good. So, all right, gang, thanks so much for listening. We always appreciate it. As always, like, share, subscribe. We'd appreciate all that stuff you can do for us. Follow us on our social medias at MindGap Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're also live on Twitch, twitch.tv/MindGap Podcast every week. Check our social medias to see when it is, because we switch based on our schedule.
That's right.
And then also check us out on YouTube. We have our channel there where we post our episodes as well as some other projects, which we should get something pretty new here pretty soon. Spoiler! Not spoiler, more of a teaser. We got something pretty cool happening soon.
Spoiler, they're releasing content. Oh, man!
Dun, dun, dun. And then Justin also exists digitally as well.
That's true. I'd love it if you'd give me a follow at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. That's on Twitter and Instagram. And then while you're in the online realm, check us out on Apple Podcast, on Stitcher,
Spotify,
and Google Podcast, wherever you can find and consume the old podcast. You can share us, like us, subscribe, rate, review, all those things. The big one is sharing, because sharing is caring. And then 2east8th.com/mindgap. And just keep an eye on all of 2 East 8th stuff, because hopefully soon we'll have some good stuff coming out.
Yeah! So you guys, take care of each other, all right?
That's right.
Take care of each other.
Look out for each other.
Justin, thank you.
Douglas, thank you.
Twitch, thank you.
Listeners, thank you.
Have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.